Hey everyone, it's Jazz and I am so excited about today's video. I recently got to go home and interview my parents all about what they have to say about love and marriage after 31 years and counting of being married. This interview is packed full of wisdom and advice, so please sit back, relax, and just let this wisdom soak in that you can apply to your current marriage or your future marriage if you're praying to get married someday. So I'll get right to the interview and then I'll catch up with you right afterwards. Hey everyone, I am with my amazing parents, Carl and Nancy, and they were so great to be willing to do this interview, so it'll be fun. Okay, so easy question. How long have you been married?
31 years.
Very good.
Boom!
Yep.
31
years
years of great knowledge, wisdom that we're about to tap into, everybody. Get your notepad ready, right, Dad? Take some notes.
Yes.
Okay, so how old were you when you got married?
I was 24.
We both were. We were both 24.
24
Yep.
years old.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, Dad, how did you guys meet?
We met at a dance hall.
Just like Grandpa and Grandma.
Yeah, at a dance hall where a lot of the younger crowd went and hung out because that's what we did in those days and danced, and I think that's right.
That was right. There's a little backstory to it, though. When I went to college, my roommate at college was originally from his town, and so she was dating his cousin. And so I kind of knew who he was, but hadn't met him until about 5 years later. And so then when we were out dancing and he asked me to dance, he's like, "Will you dance?" And I said, "Yes." And I'm like, "Well, aren't you Carl?" And he's like, "Yeah, how do you know?"
You should know me.
Yeah. So anyway, I knew him just because he was so handsome and he had a face you didn't forget.
Oh.
And so it was really awesome because his cousin, that's kind of how I knew of him, but he had never met me yet. But that's how I said I remembered him from his good looks. And I was like, okay, I remembered his name and everything, and he had no idea how I would know that. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah.
You made an impression.
Stalker.
You
No.
respectfully
Stalker.
stalked him, like I respectfully stalked James.
But anyway, that's kind of how we met.
And it was on
New Year's Eve.
Yes.
New Year's Eve.
Yep.
Yep,
That's
it was.
cool.
So,
Do you remember the first time you saw each other?
Oh yeah. I remember the first time. Yeah.
Aww. That's cute.
Wow.
And I'm reading questions off my phone, just so you guys know. All right. So, how long did you date before you got engaged?
10 months.
10 months.
Yeah, it was 10 months because he asked me to marry him the evening before my birthday. So basically it was like a
Aw.
birthday present. So, yeah.
So, Dad, how did you propose?
Really, he wasn't that romantic, if I remember right.
Okay.
Well,
I picked her up at her apartment.
yeah, but let me just backtrack and say back in those days, because it's been so, 31 years that we've been
31
married,
years.
you didn't go all out with proposals. It wasn't
Yeah.
like extravagant like they do now. So it was the perfect proposal because back then,
Yep.
that's just how it was done.
Yeah, I was behind her couch.
Well,
We were standing behind her couch. I said,
there was a walkway
we were
there.
getting ready to go out. And
Aw.
There was a walkway between the couch and the kitchen counter, so you had to walk through there, and I was just coming out, and he got down on his knee, and
So, did you know that you were going to propose that night? Or
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay. I didn't know if you had it on you and you were waiting for a specific
no, I knew we
moment.
were going out, so I figured we were going to tell everybody, and we did it. So
Go celebrate.
yeah,
we did.
Aww, that's cute.
Yep.
That's fun to celebrate with people right as it happens.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was. Yeah,
You had a
it was
good
fun.
group of people with you to celebrate
Well,
with
no,
after?
no, it wasn't like they were with us. We just,
You met up with people?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're probably going out dancing.
Yeah, that's normally what we did, so it'd be wherever all the people we hung out with.
And I was
We're
just
at-
in my friend's wedding, and of course at the reception they showed off their great dance moves still, so they still got it.
We try.
Did you guys, when you were dating or engaged or early in marriage, or even now, have any fun nicknames for each other? Or like pet names? Like, I know I always say to James, my love.
You do say that.
Did you ever call each other baby or babe hun? Or was it
No.
like Nance? No?
I can't say I did. I call her Nan.
Nance.
Once in a while I'll say
Nance.
Nan. Nance.
Nance, yeah.
I call her Nance.
Yeah. I think I say
Yeah.
hun a lot,
You do.
but I don't know if I always did though.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think we
Developed over time.
Yeah, I think it was just by name.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
don't,
Yeah.
don't recall it.
So, do you believe in love at first sight?
Not very first sight, but I think you know it pretty
Pretty quick?
fast. I mean, you get really attracted to them right off the get go,
Yeah,
and I mean then you know. But once you get to know them, well then you know it's. I think you know it pretty fast.
Yeah.
yeah, but that was key. You said once you kind of get to know them, because love at first sight, that would be a visual, and I don't
Infatuation.
infatuation at first sight,
Yeah.
but
that's
not
it.
love.
Mm-hmm.
And then over time you get to
Yeah.
know them, you know.
Yeah.
So I think we had infatuation at first sight, and then it quickly turned to love because we could see the commitment
and relatable.
right away. You know.
Yeah.
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 That's a good way of explaining it.
So
A lot of our viewers wonder if it's love at first sight's real or the one, which leads me to my next question. Do you believe in the one?
that's a good question. I feel like
Or do you think there's like a group of people that you could be compatible with?
well, you probably could be. I mean, it's just the thing is you find the one and you make a commitment.
Right.
So he's the one till death do us part.
Yeah.
Now, if a unfortunate circumstance happened where one of us would pass away, then you wouldn't want the other one lonely for the rest of their life. Does
Yeah.
that make sense? So then there may be another one, but it wouldn't take the place of that person. It just would be
Fill in.
well, you'd still,
I know
you
what
know,
you mean.
find someone that you could grow old with.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be another one, but it would be another one for that time of your life. I
That
don't know
season?
if that season, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but different
But
season.
He's
Yeah.
my only one and soulmate
Yeah.
Yeah, 31
because
years.
we
so far.
made that decision
Yeah.
a long
yeah.
time ago.
Yeah, good
Sure.
answer. So, Dad, what made Mom the one that you wanted to marry?
Well, she was beautiful. Still is.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
you kind of see how they react with other people, you know, and you can kind of tell.
And everybody loves her.
Yeah.
Like a magnet.
Yeah. So, I mean, when she's well known and well liked, you know, that she must be doing something right. So,
That's
as long
right.
as I don't mess something up, I should be good.
So you saw her looks, but you also saw her heart because
Yeah.
you saw that people were like attracted to her as a person. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's a sweet answer.
Mhm.
Aw. So, Mama, what made Dad the one to you?
Well, like I said, initially was the looks initially,
Uh-huh.
and then he was very persistent.
Mm.
That is his
That was
back.
good.
I actually didn't know I was ready to be in a relationship. I'll be honest at that point, but he was very persistent, and I mean that in a good way, you know.
Showed you were wanted.
He
I had
pursued
to
me.
stay in the line.
He pursued me.
He
Yeah.
pursued you.
He pursued me, and at all, you know, nothing stopped him. I mean, I'm telling you, he was
Yeah.
going to college in another town about 40 minutes from here, and there was a blizzard, and he wanted to see me, and he drove through a blizzard. You know, he drove through a blizzard. Yeah. This was within like the first 2 or 3 weeks of kind of seeing each other, and
when I asked for her phone number,
that's another story.
She gave me the wrong phone number. She was living with her one brother at the time, and she had lived with her other brother prior to that. Well, she gave me the wrong phone number to the other brother where she wasn't living, so I called there. No, she don't live there.
That
but you found a way.
But it was an honest mistake.
It was an honest mistake.
I know she didn't do it to ditch me, but it didn't matter.
You still want her heart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's cute.
So it's kind of a good story that we kind of laugh at.
Yeah, there's a little bit more to it, but we don't need to go into that here.
Dad, did your family and friends' approval of Mama matter to you?
No.
You just loved her anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they all liked her. I mean.
Oh yeah, how could you not?
Yeah, so I mean but that didn't even go through my head.
You just knew they would like her too, I'm sure.
Yeah. Because everybody else did, so why wouldn't they?
Yeah. So, Mama, did your family and friends' approval of Dad matter to you?
Well, that's a good question. He, too, was very well liked by everyone, so I knew that wouldn't be a problem. Excuse me. Yep. Both of my parents were already deceased, you know, so it wasn't like I needed to get Dad's approval. But I knew that
sisters,
my brothers, I had a couple of them that were watchful. And so, in fact, at our wedding, I had one of my brothers walk me down the aisle to give me away to him. So, and then of course my sister, she hung out with me a lot at that time. My sister Mary, and so she was with us a lot, and she loved him too, and still does. And yeah, so everybody loved him, and I never had anybody not. He's just well liked. No red flags. No. That's my symbol, red flags. But I never had any with him. So.
Aww. Dad, when did you know that you wanted to marry Mom?
Oh boy. I think relatively soon. I mean, I think after a month.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all kind of a blur back then, but it was relatively fast. I mean.
You knew she was right, the one for you.
Yeah.
Well, I remember it was like very early on. You told me that you were falling in love with me, so I knew he meant business. It wasn't just a relationship that really wasn't going to go anywhere. Yeah, I knew he meant business, so I really liked that.
Yeah. Was there a moment when you knew you wanted to marry Dad?
Well, I would say probably very early on when he told me that.
Yeah.
So it was probably in that first month.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, we could have saved some time then if we just would have talked about that then.
Right. Well.
That's awesome. Were you surprised when Dad proposed to you, or did you know it was coming?
I think we had looked at rings.
Yeah.
We had looked at rings, but I don't think I knew that it was coming that night. But I don't think I knew it was coming that night, but I kind of anticipated that it was coming anytime soon.
I don't think I told anybody that I was popping the question that night.
Wow. Yeah, not that I know of.
Did you cry? Do you remember?
I don't recall that I cried.
I think so.
Probably just a giant
I
smile.
was real happy. I don't recall crying, but real happy.
I don't remember.
Aww,
yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Was wedding planning fun for you, or was it stressful?
Fun.
Fun?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's good.
It was fun. Weddings were a lot simpler back then, though. I mean, I think we still had, you still have to go through a lot of the same kind of planning, but you aren't as extravagant. Yeah. For example, like the wedding reception, his mom and her friends made the food for the wedding reception. So I mean, some things were, you still had to make a lot of decisions on, but some things were a lot simpler.
Yep. You gotta keep the main thing the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think we were not more excited than the wedding, because the wedding was awesome, but we had fun planning the honeymoon.
That was my next question. What did you do for your honeymoon?
We went to Florida.
Yes.
We started out at Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. Spent a couple nights there.
That was fun.
Then we had to...
Then we went up by Orlando and stayed at a hotel kind of out in the middle of nowhere, kind of between Orlando and Tampa. And the reason why we stayed there a couple nights is because where he bought the ring, if you buy the ring, you would get a free vacation, is what they called it. And it was basically was a hotel in the middle of nowhere, and we were like, okay, this isn't really a vacation. But the good thing, learning. But the good thing is we extended the honeymoon a little longer, and we went to Daytona Beach then for another 4 days or so. So yeah, it was fun.
That's fun.
So it made a good funny memory.
Yeah.
A promo to
It was
get
like
you
in
to
the
buy
middle of nowhere.
It really was.
But that's fun.
Ghost Town honeymoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Dad, what was your parents' marriage like? Like, what did you learn from them about marriage?
Oh, longevity, and you make a commitment and you stick with it. And,
Yeah.
I don't remember them ever really fighting ever. Majorly. I mean, they always bickered with each other, which it gets kind of entertaining, but I've never really seen
Not like a screaming match.
I've never seen a big knockdown, drag out, yelling match or anything like that, but they just...
So little
But different
plug.
personalities, you understand.
Yeah.
Different personalities.
Because they're both very different, but they complement each other
Right.
well.
Yep.
Which a plug for this is we just filmed a video of Grandpa and Grandma's 66 years of marriage wisdom. So if you want to hear their advice, go watch that video as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really cute.
Yeah.
That's good. And longevity, yeah, they definitely passed that test. 66 years and counting.
And counting, yeah.
Uh-huh. So Mama, what was your parents' marriage like? What did you learn about marriage from watching them?
Well, I do have to say that they were so in love.
Aw,
And I'm going to cry.
I'm sorry. They're a good example for you. I wish I could have met them.
Yeah. My dad passed away when he was 48, so they were married for 24 years. I know that, it would have lasted forever. Sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. Anyway, their love was amazing. They loved each other, and like you said, you never saw your parents fight. I can't say my mom or dad ever raised their voice, not once.
Wow.
Not once. I never saw them fight.
That's huge.
Not once.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So,
Is that because they communicated really well, or they just weren't like confrontational? Or they
that's a good question. I think they would have had plenty to fight about because there was 10 of us kids, so there would have been plenty to fight about. But they were just good people.
Yeah.
Good people. So
Well,
they fell in love, I think, at a young age, and just made a commitment too. So that's all. I'm sorry.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I know they were good people because they raised you how you were.
Thank you.
So, what do you guys think are some of the most important qualities or characteristics to look for in a potential spouse or someone you're dating? Because a lot of our viewers are single, maybe dating, hoping to get married, trying to figure out if who they're dating is the right one. So what qualities do you think would make someone a good spouse that's like, yeah, you should marry that one, in opposed to other options or fish in the sea?
Well, I think some advice that a lot of people have heard over the years, I think is not quite accurate. Okay. Some people say opposites attract, and if you ask me, I think you have to have a lot in common. instead of the opposites attract. Even though with the opposites attract, if someone has a quality and the other one doesn't have it, you kind of balance each other out. But I think you need things in common with each other. So, of course, your faith, having the same faith, having the same belief system, that's really
morals.
The morals.
Yeah.
All of that is really, really important. And then as far as activities, things you like to do, I think if you like to do some of the same activities, then it's kind of like built-in dates then.
True.
Versus,
True.
if somebody has something they like to be outside in the cold and this and that, and the other one isn't,
Likes tropical beaches.
Yeah, if somebody likes tropical beaches and someone else would like to rather go skiing,
Ice fishing.
Yeah. I think you have to have stuff in common. But anyway. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, the initial thing, you got to be attracted to them, physically or whatever first, but there's so much more than that, because it's going to go on for a lot longer than that. And
right.
Yeah.
It just.
Yeah.
You have to look
but I agree with her. You got to have something in common.
But really, the faith is really, really important, because that is what really matters in this life. And I'm just talking now from experience, being together this long. We've grown, and our faith has grown together, and that's a great way how to raise kids.
Yeah.
And so if one is one extreme and the other is,
like atheist,
totally opposite,
Christian,
you might think that's going to work initially, but there's going to be a lot of wedges that will come in there and
it's
try
like
to
water
divide
and
you.
oil. It's not going to mix.
Yeah.
It just won't, no matter how hard you try.
So what were or still are some of your favorite dates to go on?
Well, a date.
A date.
I mean, a movie night is fun. Going out to eat.
We like to go out to eat.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care to cook that much.
Me either.
So we like to go out to eat, and so we do that quite often, which is fun. Yeah, he likes to bowl. I'm not that much of a bowler, though.
You're pretty good, though.
But what I really like to do is when it's nice weather, we get in the car and we drive up about an hour from here. There's a beautiful lake. We sometimes take our bikes up there and go bike riding along the river and the lake. There's river and a lake up there. And see the scenery. And then maybe go mini golf and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And vacations.
Yeah. Well, I really like vacations. But we can do these short trips a lot easier.
I know.
And spur the moment.
Yes, because you were just asking about dating. That's
Yes.
just like,
Yeah. But for back in the day, the dating, we like to go dancing. And like Grandma and Grandpa mentioned, there isn't really that much out there for people to go dancing
Not
anymore. And not in our area anyhow. But that was always fun.
Yeah.
So
Those are good ones. So, a little more serious, what are the keys to a long, successful, healthy marriage like yours of 31 years?
Be short-tempered and be willing to say sorry sooner than later.
That's good.
yeah.
Don't drag it out.
I try to listen, but then I know that he and I both handle it differently. If we do have a discussion, I like to talk it out, and he would like to just stop the conversation and think it's gonna go away. Right?
Different ways to resolve conflict.
Yeah, yeah. But for me, this is just me, but I forgive like really easy. And so a lot of times though, if we do sleep on it, by the next morning we wake up and we're just fine. If there's a discussion.
But a good key to a
Communicate.
successful marriage would be figure out how to resolve conflict and understand each other's way of how to handle conflict.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and you got to realize, you're different for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I say find someone that has stuff in common with you, you do have to realize okay, a man's different than a woman, and then the personalities are different, and so even though I think I'm right, you know, he might be right too, but just in a different way, right? So we have to just kind of.
I got to figure out ways how to make you think you're right, right?
Oh, sure. However that works for you.
That's good. So, Dad, what is your advice to husbands out there or guys that want to get married? Like, what makes a guy a good husband?
Be true to your word. That's the biggest thing, I guess. Don't be wishy-washy in any decisions you make or whatever.
Be a good leader?
Yeah. Like I said, just be willing to apologize sooner than later. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
You know, don't drag things out. Don't stew on it for any longer than you have to.
That's good. So, Mom, what's your advice to future wives out there or current wives? Like, what makes a woman a good wife?
Well, it's a good question. I feel like
No wrong answers here.
just treat him special. Treat him like he's the leader of your house. I mean, I probably can't say I've always been the best at it, but if you just recognize that and try to be better at, you know, putting the other person's feelings in front of your own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean,
Putting each other first?
Put each other first. Yeah. And I'm speaking to myself.
I was going to say that.
I'm speaking to myself as I say that because I know that's what
you know,
that's what we're to do.
Yep.
And but I feel like we've done that.
Oh, no.
I feel like we've done that over the years.
Yeah, I do too.
So
just from watching you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking of all the married couples you've met in your lifetime, whether they're still together or not together anymore, what do you think are some of the most common challenges that people face in marriage and in staying married? Because, you know, like Grandpa and Grandma, they had no thought of even the word divorce, and now culture has changed so much. So, like, what are some of the common challenges you've seen in maybe it's friend couples or relative couples that have maybe made them split that people could be aware of to prevent that from happening?
Well, I think that people need to remember to keep the relationship fresh with dates, etc.
Keep dating your spouse.
Don't let it get stagnant.
Because I do know after having kids, the kids become, you know, front and center a lot of times, and you kind of forget about dating. And I think we always kind of made dating, we included the kids, which was fun and nice, you know, but I do think you need to
your own date night.
Continually have a date night. So that's one thing I think they need to do. I also think so many people are too worried about their professions that they put their profession first, and they're too busy, where they need to maybe step back a little on that. And
so quality time,
come back and spend quality time, and realize that if your job was gone tomorrow, you'd be replaced that quickly. So, but your family is still going to be there. So make sure you
that's good.
Spend quality time. And I don't know if that answered your question.
That's good.
I think a lot of times people try to, the old saying, you want to keep up with the Joneses, you know, and then they get strapped financially or something like that, puts more stress on, and
the comparison game.
The comparison game and stuff like that, when you just got to live within your means and focus on what's important, you know.
Yeah, and sometimes though it's hard to stay within your means because
there's always things that come up that you don't plan on, you know, and that puts stress on people's life. But you're in it together, and as long as it'll eventually work out.
It does. Everything always works out.
Yep.
And communicate again.
Yeah.
On that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great advice. So only a couple questions left. Do you have a favorite memory of your wedding day? Do you have anything that sticks out about your actual wedding day that...
Well, it was September 1st.
Very good. I don't know. This isn't like a good memory of it, which there were many good memories, but I remember we built a house, and for some reason the garage door wouldn't open up for me to get my car out of the garage.
On your wedding day?
Yeah.
Oh my.
So I didn't know what to do, and I guess now I know you can pull this other little lever to release it. But as a 24-year-old girl, I did not know this, and this was our new house, and I'm like, how do I get out?
Oh,
so that was a funny story.
Yeah.
But
we had great fun at the reception.
I think the reception was
great fun.
Yeah.
At
I
the
think
reception.
the best memory besides after being married was the dance.
Yeah.
And like I said, we talked about dance.
Yes.
But there was one song, and we just played it probably over and over and over because everybody was having so much fun.
Reception,
the whole
party,
all the
everything.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
You remember what the song was?
Yeah.
yeah, but
Can't touch this.
Can't touch this. And, but he stole the show. Like he always had this fancy jump that he did. Yeah. Anyway.
It wasn't that.
It was funny though, and so
Yeah,
people to this day say it was the most fun reception that they've ever gone to.
That's awesome.
We still hear that.
Yep.
And so I don't know how because it was not fancy, nothing like that. It was just the people that were there, and everybody, made us feel special. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. So that was the memory that was.
That's cute. Mm-hmm. I like that. I'll think about that song differently when I hear it now.
Well, in fact, my nephew got married about 3 years ago, and they played that song.
Oh, wow.
And it was, obviously, that nephew wasn't born yet at the time, and so he wouldn't have known that, but someone requested it, so we kind of did our little dance at that, and my sister filmed it, so I have a little clip of that somewhere.
I didn't know that. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
I like that. Do you have a favorite memory throughout the 31 years of your marriage? Is there like one moment that sticks out more than others? I know that's a lot to ask, but could be an anniversary trip or a vacation.
I don't know.
It's all good.
3 kids.
I was going to say the kids.
Yeah.
And I know Grandma and Grandpa said that same answer, but it was the kids, having the kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we're going to start with, you're our oldest here, so that was a great memory. And then we had 2 other wonderful ones after you, so.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, in your opinion, what's the best thing about marriage? What makes it so wonderful?
Well, look at him.
Aww.
We just have a built-in friend every day. Every day.
No matter what, you'll have a friend.
A best friend.
Yeah.
Every day. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty special. James and I have talked about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to talk about everything, wake up to each other, go to bed next to each other. It's just really cool. I was going
to say, some days aren't all roses, but some days are roses.
But you still know they're always going to be there.
They're always going to be there. Yeah.
And you get to be your unfiltered version of yourself too.
Right.
And they're still going to love you. Doesn't give you an excuse to not be nice or sassy.
No, you gotta be nice.
Yeah.
But there are gonna be tough times too. But tough times don't last. Tough people do.
That's right.
That's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Write that down. Write that down.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2 more questions. If you could go back in time, is there anything you would tell your younger version of yourself about love or marriage that you wish you would have known back then? That would have set you up for success or made it easier on you in marriage or anything.
We ended up with the right person to begin with, but had we known things differently, we probably would have done the checklist like you guys have done. And you write out
spouse list.
Yep, what you're willing to.
Yeah, but we weren't aware of any of that.
No.
Yeah.
I mean.
No, we just knew in our hearts
Yeah.
was the right person.
Okay, so next question. What advice would you have for newly married couples, whether they're just married or like a year or two into marriage?
That's a great question, and I'm just being honest with everyone. As lovely as marriage is, I want people to know that the first year can be a little up and down because you're both changing and having to adjust to each other's schedules, and maybe if there's any baggage or anything that they bring to the table, and so learning about each other, living with each other, and everything like that. So our first year was a lot of ups and then a lot of downs, so it just kind of went like that for the first year. And then
because you're getting to know each other.
Yeah. And then what happened after the first year, Carl?
Well, we basically found a mentor, that we learned from, because you find out how they're living, how their marriage is, and like, wow, they got it together.
Yeah.
And you start learning what they do different, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start gleaning from them what they're doing and applying it to your marriage, and it pays off.
And they had such a strong marriage, but it really boiled down to their faith, and their faith was so strong, and that was lacking in my area, and his was stronger. But so I needed that mentorship, and we found that in a couple that could show us what
it made all the difference.
What a healthy relationship looked like.
Because the stuff you see on TV isn't real. The reality stuff, it's all fake. It's not. It's not truthful. When you find somebody's living the way you want to live and do what they're doing, that's what it's going to pay off.
And I do want to say that with this mentorship and this couple, that's how I came to know the Lord. It was through them that's how I became born again and accepted Jesus Christ in my life. So that mentorship meant everything to us. And from that point, after that mentorship, and they're still in our lives, I have to say that with their mentorship, it really molded not only our faith, but how to raise kids. And that's how we raised you guys then, and because they led by example, and we loved how their kids turned out, and they're still really good adults today. But that's how we modeled raising you guys, was from those mentors.
Oh, I count my blessings that you guys met them.
Yeah, we do too. We do too.
So like, you guys would recommend even like premarital counseling then to work out all those bugs before you get married even?
Well, I would recommend that, as long as you're learning from somebody that you want to learn from. I mean, you got to look at the fruit on their tree.
Look at what their life looks like right now. Is what their life would you want the same for your life?
Absolutely.
If they're living what they're teaching you or talking about, then that's a whole different story. But if they're
say one thing to another, that's
then
really
you
good.
got to pump the brakes and
Red flag.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question, Dad. What is your favorite thing about Mom?
Favorite thing?
You can have multiple.
Yeah.
I know she's really great at
It's got to be my cooking.
Nothing wrong with your cooking. Everything you ever make is good, so
thank you.
Can't be that. She's just very tender-hearted.
Yeah.
No matter what. So good looking. I mean, it just goes on and on.
He's got a big heart for people.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just like the night you met her.
Yes.
That is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And Mom, what's your favorite thing about Dad?
Well, he's always been a great leader of our family.
Yeah.
And provider for us. He's always been great with that. Never made me have to, go out to pursue to make money, because what the thing was is I knew that what I wanted to do was raise our kids. Yeah. I didn't want a babysitter to raise them, because
either one of us wanted that.
No, we in fact, that's the funny part is,
not that that's bad, anybody does that. If you gotta do it, you gotta do, but
yeah,
you were on the same page.
We were on the same page, and we were on the same page with that, and it's kind of crazy, but that was one of the first things we talked about initially when we were dating, because I think like we said early on, we knew that we were going to be together and get married someday. I mean, I think we knew that, and so we kind of just laid it out front that, I'll be at home and raise the kids and what have you, because that's how he was raised, and that's how I was raised.
That's what you guys knew.
That's what we knew. That's what we knew, and we just wanted to instill the values that we wanted into them.
Yeah.
Into you and Gunnar and Desi. So
that's awesome.
Anyway, he's a great person. Everyone loves him. He's consistent. He's like I said, a leader.
Yeah. Well,
boils down to mentorship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely lucked out in getting these two as my parents. God really blessed me, and I'm very grateful that I have them as a role model couple of what to look up to. Being married 31 years is a huge accomplishment, and I know that everyone watching has a goal to be married 31 years and longer. And so thank you for sharing your wisdom and advice. And I love you guys a whole lot.
Love you too.
Thank you for being interviewed.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
Wasn't that slideshow so precious? And that interview was just packed full of amazing wisdom and pieces of advice that we all need to apply to our relationships. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I look forward to you also watching my grandparents' interview that I interviewed them of their 66 years of marriage and counting of advice and wisdom. So check that video out as well. But thank you guys so much for watching today. And I also encourage you to head to jamesandjazz.com where you can watch all different types of videos that my husband James and I produce. We have spiritual videos including topical studies, and we have Bible study with us. We have physically fit videos that encourage you to be the best version of yourself physically, as well as life and relationship videos, which are similar to this one. Please scroll to the bottom of our website where you can book us to speak at an event, sign up for our email list, check out that donate tab if you would like to partner with us financially. And ladies, check out that courses tab if you would like courses on how to become that Proverbs 31 woman that God designed you to be. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you at jamesandjazz.com in the future for more videos.